Hi kindergartners! We are going to get started on a new project today, and we're going to be learning about a famous artist named Wasily Kandinsky. Now Kandinsky was from Russia. He's no longer living. He was born in the 1800s and he was what we call an abstract expressionist. Now those are two pretty big words. And I'm going to break them both down for you so that you have a better understanding of what that means. So abstract is when we make artwork that doesn't really look like anything. So it could be made up of just a lot of lines, a lot of colors, a lot of shapes, but when you look at it, it doesn't look real, okay? Now expressionism is when you express yourselves through your artwork, or you say how you're feeling through your artwork. So artists that show expressionism, like Kandinsky, in their artwork, do it by making different types of lines or patterns or things like that, or even using different colors to kind of show how they are feeling. So if a person was really upset, they might make scribbly lines all over their project. If a person was kind of frazzled or stressed, they might do like zigzag lines. If a person is pretty calm, they may do wavy lines, okay? And then generally, you think more of the warm colors as being like red would be kind of mad or stressed, or yellow you kind of think of happy. And then the cool colors are more sad, like blue could be sad, or they could be more of the calming colors or relaxing colors. So we're going to be working with those colors and doing a project similar to what Kandinsky would do to make a heart. And this heart is going to be one that we make sort of for Valentine's Day. I know it's a little bit early for Valentine's Day, but we'll get these done and then we'll have them ready to hang by then. So I am going to do the demonstration in just a second. All right, so you all are going to get a piece of paper that already has a heart drawn on it. I am going to draw my own heart like this, and it's going to be very large, just like yours will be. And then within that heart, I am going to make all sorts of circles, okay? Now, we are going to cut these out eventually, so if your circle goes out of the lines of the heart, it's no big deal. So your goal is to fill this heart with big circles, not like, I would say that's about as big as you want to go, but big circles, little circles, medium-sized circles, and you want them to touch as much as you possibly can, okay? And you'll just do this over and over and over until you have your entire heart filled with circles. Okay, so now that I have finished that, what I am going to do is take a black crayon and I am going to trace around every single one of those circles very carefully. And then I will also trace around the outline of my heart. Now I'm pressing kind of hard so that I get a nice dark line. And once I finish tracing my circles and my heart, any white space that is left, I am going to color in black. Okay? All right, so the last step of the project is to fill our circles in with color. Now, we're not just going to use one color within each circle, we're going to use multiple colors because that's what Wassily Kandinsky did on his project. So I am going to figure out what colors I want to use. Remember that when you start using your watercolor paint, you have to get a puddle in it, and then you want to stir it really, really good so your colors are nice and bright, okay? So what I would do then is just paint a little ring of color around the edge. And I've got a paintbrush that's kind of acting funny, so I'm just going to grab a different one quick. So you paint a circle or a ring, and then I wouldn't paint inside that ring again for a while because you don't want your paint to smear together. So maybe I want this circle to have turquoise around the outside edge, and you would just go around your paper and pick a few circles that you want to be this color and go around the edge of your circle, okay? Now maybe I don't want any more to be turquoise on the outside edge, so maybe I want to move on to my next color, but you decide what that's going to be and continue making rings. Now you might have, my hand is shaky here from tracing so much with the black. You might have some rings that are like thick. So here, I'll show you for example. This one's pretty thick with the magenta pinkish color. And some of them might be a little bit thinner, and that's just fine. It's actually going to look a little bit nicer if you have a variety of sizes of lines. You want to make sure too that your paint isn't too watery on your paintbrush. So you might want to, like when you dip it in your paint in the puddle, dab it off a little bit so that it doesn't drip or run all over your paper, okay? And I have to be careful where I'm placing my arm so that I'm not putting it in wet paint and smudging all over. And then I would change to another color. So it would be really cool if you used tons of color for this and made them very bright and colorful. The only color that I don't want you to use is black, simply because your circles are all outlined with black, and we don't want your circles just to blend in with that background, okay? Now, once these are dry, you can begin putting another layer of color inside. So if I look at it and it looks shiny, and it's probably hard for you to see in the video, but if it looks shiny, it means it's still wet. If it just looks dull, like the paper looks, then it should be safe for you to put another color in. So maybe I want to use a bluish color. And mine isn't quite dry enough, but for the sake of the demonstration, I'm gonna very carefully do this. And I'll paint another ring inside that magenta, okay? And again, the colors that you use are up to you. So you decide how you want it to look. And we'll pretend again that that is dry, and maybe I want to put an orange in there. This is going to take you a while to do. It's not something that we're going to get done in one class, and that is just fine. If you really take your time on these, they're gonna look super cool, and we'll be able to hang them up in the hallway for Valentine's Day, okay? All right, if you have any questions, please let me know.